This is big today. Cellular growth factors in skincare. They can make all the difference to bring your skincare from the ordinary to the extraordinary. So what are they? How to use them? Where can you find them? When to use them? All answers in this video. Hello skincare people, Custodio here again, the Age Traveler, shaking up ideas, see if they stand, asking the one most important question. Where is that skin wanted just before marketing got in the way? So why did I say that growth factors in skincare, it's big? Because I think we are finally approaching what I consider, it's not technology or science, it's not nature, it's the science in nature. Because growth factors are basically ingredients coming from biotechnology, ingredients which are biomimetic, they are mimicking, they are imitating something that our own skin is producing. This is actually some of the ideas behind, you can find this video here, why your skincare isn't working, where I touched upon these topics without mentioning growth factors, but it was implied there a bit as content. So this for me, it's extremely important in my skincare. I would say this is what I really believe can make a big difference once you have done all the basics and the important things you cannot live without in skincare, especially addressing the signs of aging, glycolic acid, retinol, peptides, collagen, all those good things are elevated to the next level if we include some growth factors in the mix. So let's organize our house. What are growth factors when talking about skin and skincare? They are proteins. From the day we are born, we have abundance of these growth factors and the capacity to produce these growth factors when needed. Of course, as we grow older, like so many other things other than wisdom and hopefully depth about ourselves, we just decrease on these elements. But that's basically why when you see a baby skin, it's so plump, it's so luminous, because it's still fully packed with very functional growth factors. As the name says, growth factors are factors which enable growth. I mean, also growth in terms of our height, but in terms of tissue, growth of cellular and synthesis of macromolecules, which are depending on the capacity of these growth factors. Proteins, it's what you need to retain. Swiss skincare, it's in a way obsessed with growth factors. And this has always been one of the credos and one of the practices, research around growth factors, optimizing growth factors. Actually, the very DNA of Swiss skincare, why a lot of Swiss brands talk about cellular ingredients, is exactly because Switzerland, Swiss scientists has always been searching for these optimization of the growth factors functionalities. And later on, when we mention exactly where they are coming from today, we will also mention where they used to come in early days, back in time, which, as so many other cellular bioactive ingredients, they were coming from animal origin. Not anymore, or at least not in the brand that I'm related to. So I'm just putting up a little drawing, a little schematic, which is related to a raw material we use at Swissline.
FGF stands for fibroblast growth factor. I choose this just an example because it's the one we use for Swissline. Our fibroblasts are the cells, the mother cells responsible for producing collagen and elastin. And they have, as all cells, the capacity to produce their specific attached growth factor. What is the growth factor doing? It's enabling the linkage between the cell and the receptor, which accesses, in this case, proteoglycans. Let's imagine proteoglycans are nutrients, they are the fertilizers to allow this synthesis of collagen to happen. So when you make action on this growth factor, making the anchoring on the site, on the cellular site stronger, the fibroblast will have a growth of more of its growth factor. And while growing more of the growth factor anchoring, you activate the cell multiplication, the collagen, the synthesis of glycosaminoglycans, including hyaluronic acid.
You know, in a way, it's like when we age, parts of our skin are locked. That's why I like to think growth factors as keys unlocking the doors, because that's what happens when we mature. There are locked sections of our skin. So cells which are meant to send messages to other cells do that in a disrupted, slow path, and then the message is lost in translation. This is all metaphorical, but it's quite biochemically speaking what really happens, biological thinking, that's what happens in your skin. So the growth factors allow cells to live more in a community. If you want, the growth factors are a bit like a social media platform that connects the cells to another. I must say this, when we talk about growth factors in skincare today, these are not human growth factors. These are biomimetic growth factors which are developed to replicate, mirror what the other growth factors are doing. And remember, I was saying this is a bit like establishing the connection, establishing the transfer of information and messages. And this is possible to be done even if the material is not exactly the same. So it's a trickstery capacity to, with science, reinvent nature. And this, of course, can be more serious and it can also be less serious. So I think growth factors belong to the pharmaceutical industry, the serious growth factors. I'm always very skeptical about brands which try to come up with their own secret recipe of whatever, because that's not the way R&D develops. R&D develops mostly in the pharmaceutical industry. There are groups which are specialized in developing the molecules and the raw materials, and then you have the skincare brands which have the art, the science and the art to cook in a formula which is stable and makes the ingredient bioavailable, each one their own. So as some of you are very aware, in this series, The Perfect Formula Pyramid, we are building this personal perfect pyramid. So my take on skincare, what are the ingredients that really work? And as you can see, the growth factors are up there in the tip of the pyramid. Why is that? Because I do believe personally, and from all research I've been seeing, navigating these waters of Swiss formulation and Swiss skincare, that growth factors can make all the difference when combined with everything which is underneath in the pyramid. So I'm not saying that your skincare will not work if you don't have growth factors in your mix, because if you follow the previous episodes, the base is the base, the core is the core, exactly because those are those which are sine qua non, so there is no chance to have an exciting skincare without of those. But very important to say that growth factors can also make all the difference. And the growth factors, in a way, they are the cherry on top, because enabling that intercommunication, the anchoring of the right receptor with the right cell, the right message, the right protein, all that can make the difference, as I said in the beginning of the video, for long-lasting effects. I think if I would have to nail down to one benefit the difference of with growth factors, without growth factors, I would say it's the long-lasting effects, is that you really alter something deeper at a cellular level in the way your skin is functioning. It's behaving as a younger skin, and then all the rest, it's like a domino effect, will just work better. With the big advantage that growth factors are very well tolerated by sensitive skins. They don't have like a chemical explosion in the skin. They are more facilitators, discreet, very much skin identical, and in that sense they become skin friendly. I would say if you are more on a preventive, addressing the first signs of aging, maybe once a year, twice a year, some mix of growth factors in your skincare regimen will keep your skin at peak condition. If you're more mature skin, if you already, like me, 50 years old, you already have some concerns and you want to minimize those, then growth factors can be daily in your mix. Don't forget that they are related to wound healing in terms of skin and repair, produce new skin. So if you throw in so many beautiful ingredients and then you add that unlock key cherry on top, which enables everything to work better. Let's talk about the exciting products. To begin with, my always loved Swissline, my own creation, the Lux Leaf Generation. These are Cell Shock line creams, all containing 3%, the clinical tested amount of line factor, which is a growth factor coming from BASF chemical company, pharmaceutical research for cosmetic industry. So a very interesting fibroblast growth factor. That little drawing I showed you comes from their explanatory fact sheets. And here we have in the core of our line Swissline all creams containing these 3% fibroblast growth factors, which boosts the production of collagen, elastin, and that skin density, which can make all skin look younger also on the surface. So this is an option. As always, I invite you to leave a comment. Leave me a comment if you ever tried products containing growth factors, if you saw a difference. And then in 2 weeks, I will pick from all the comments one lucky winner, and then we talk over email, because we have light texture, rich texture, very rich texture, overnight bomb. So then you let me know which texture you would like to try to see the magic of growth factors working inside your skin. As growth factors believers and specialists, I will highlight this Icelandic, very original brand called BioEffect. I think it has already nowadays a broad distribution. They have done their own research on barley. By the way, I didn't mention that our growth factor is obtained from hibiscus seeds using biotechnology. In the case of BioEffect, from barley grain, also a research they did in Iceland, but with very interesting, and I've tested some of their products. So their epidermal growth factor serum is like the big classic, but nowadays the brand has grown, and I think they do deliver results. So this is for sure, together with Swissline, not the most affordable. Growth factors are expensive type of ingredients just because of the bioproduction, the biotechnological production, which takes time. But I will give you in the end also a more affordable option if you are curious about growth factors. The classic Prairie high potency serum, it's another option with the epidermal growth factor. So already 2 epidermal growth factor, in our case fibroblast growth factor, a little bit deeper, the mother cell producing collagen. Prairie, this is one of the first products and one of those who, after so many changes, evolutions, natural in any brand, that formula remains very much one of the classics and very much unchanged and untouched. Revive, an American brand, which it's again very much based on growth factors. So I will maybe highlight their classic Moisture Renewal Cream, one of the first creams I tried in my life 2 decades ago, probably, maybe not as much, 15 years ago, that I've tried, which binds the growth factors and glycolic acid, which is not something very easy to stabilize in a formula, but I totally see that they have done so. Again, all these options are not the most affordable, but you will find your way, you will make your little savings, maybe more important growth factors than just another pair of shoes. As I promised, also a more entering price option. This is from a Spanish pharmaceutical laboratory, says Derma, which is also now making finished products available with their raw materials. So I think in websites, I will leave below on the description box 1 or 2 European web addresses which are also making these available. This is actually an interesting cocktail of different growth factors. It's like a 1-week series of different ampules, each ampule with a different combination of growth factors. So this could be exactly the option if you don't need the growth factors like every day, not so much sure skin, you're more in the preventive cure once a year. This could be a good option, and it's more of an entering price. So I hope this was helpful. For me, growth factors, it's a big go, not maybe tomorrow. To me, it's what connects all the dots in the end, makes your skincare fly and work much better, makes look yourself in the mirror, which is also an important self-discovery experience. Every day in the morning you go to the mirror, and even if you're not very vain, you just do, at least when you brush your teeth, etc. And somehow your day is affected if you think you have a bad face day or a good face day in the morning. Isn't it right? And then you just have good friends who offer you for your birthday a Gucci tie, or in this case, Givenchy tie. And thank you, Irene. And Nico, I promised that I would embarrass you when wearing the tie for the first time. We almost ending this series, a series which I liked very much to do because it's very much back to my credo. So I hope leave your comments below, say something about growth factors, say no to boring skincare. Nothing with growth factors is boring skincare. Ciao, see you next Friday. Maybe you should consider subscribing the channel, liking, so you get to know more about magical things like growth factors.